Are we coming through over there? Am I coming in loud and clear? Alright, I see we got some viewers, but nobody's saying anything yet, so maybe it's going to take a second to kind of get it. There we go. Alright. See, I guess I had the wrong chat thing open there. Alright, there we go, guys. Cool. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out. So, yeah, I figured we'd talk about some interesting things that I've come across, and hopefully spark some cool ideas for you guys to practice, whether it be tonight or in the coming weekend or whatever, you know. I mean, I'm always searching for new things to try and add to my thing, you know, and you just, one little thing can usually spark, you know, hours of practice, depending on what it is. But, so, one thing that I thought would be pretty cool to talk about was, you know, chord voicings out of the pentatonic scale, because, you know, we were used to playing the actual scale, you know, all 5 boxes. But one thing that I came across one time was actually stacking the notes in the chord, the scale, and I found these interesting chords. So what I essentially did was I just took the scale and, you know, just basically stacked the notes, you know, starting on the 4th string here. When you add them together, you get a nice, you know, D7 sus chord. And if you move that across the fretboard, these are nice to, you know, kind of add in there, whether you're doing a fusion thing or what it may be. But anyhow, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. You could arpeggiate them like that, you know. This first one's got a huge stretch. Move them around a little bit. And you'll find some interesting things in there. So, you know, well, what is an arpeggio? The notes of a chord broken up. So if you take those notes of your first position arpeggio, and you have those in all boxes, of course. So is that kind of making sense, guys? I mean, what I'm going for here? Very unpentatonic sounding, I think. You slide the notes around a little bit. And that's kind of interesting. So, what you can do now, see if we can add a little distortion, have a little fun with that, wake up the neighbors. turn up or turn down a little bit. I'm not really quite sure. All right, man, we got Chicago in the house. And here's another little cool thing you can do while we're here. Make a little motif here. So, you know, there are no rules. I always tell my students, once you learn the rules, you can break them, right? And that's really important. You know, just taking the bottom half of that, just the root and the fifth, and then down here with the E and the C. Let's see if you can see my picking hand here too. What I'm actually doing is, here, I'll do it real slow. Little things like that can spark some new ideas as well. Basically, what we do is I hit the first note here, and then I hybrid pick this note here. So, what are you saying there, man? Let's see. Okay, so guitar is a bit higher, so maybe I'll turn that down just a hair. Is that a little better? The voice is too soft. All right, let's see if we can fix that real quick. I want to make sure everything comes through right. This is too soft. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if we can prop this up a little bit. All right, let me know if that is a little better. Okay. All right, well, I'll try to speak clearly. Actually, let me see if I turn this down a little bit. All right, there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. All right, awesome. So, yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm a hybrid picker. I love to hybrid pick things. So, I don't know, for me, it's just it just feels really comfortable. Now, I think I'm at the point now that I can't not do it. You know how that goes, right? You get used to doing something, and then trying to go back to a different thing is... Let's see, turn this up a little bit. So, anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm just picking the first note here, the E. I'm using my middle finger to pluck this C down here. And then I'm hitting this E again, so it's like... And hammering on from nowhere here. If you've never done that, that's an interesting technique. Just kind of... You know, so I'm hitting the fifth, the root, and the fifth. So, E, E, A, E. So... So we get... And that's right out of there. So, of course, it always sounds cool, a little distortion. So, let me see. And move that around. And for anybody new that's just coming in, you know, I'm talking about using all 5 pentatonic boxes, just the bottom 4 strings here, and stacking the notes up to create chords. Now, you can do this with any scale, really. I mean, even in the major scale. But you'll see these voicings are really useful. You know, this kind of thing. And then, maybe even kind of get an Eric Johnson type thing going on there a little bit. To my ears it does, maybe not, but you know, I'm hearing that type of thing. You know, a little bit. So yeah, you know, the arpeggios are really useful in there as well. And then the phrasing, you know, try some different, some patterns and things like that. See how I move to the next position by simply using the lower octave strings. that's something I've been messing around with a little bit. And try your own, try some different scales as well. So I'm gonna have to plug my new TrueFire instructional, power ballad soloing, and this one was a lot of fun to do. This is it's. I remember back in the day, I was woodshedding a lot and doing all this technical stuff, and I said, well, I'm going to put out a blues record. I'm just going to do something to make everybody realize that, I love the technical playing, but, when it comes down to it, the melodic stuff is really where it's at for me. Just kind of sprinkling the technique over it and things like that. And anyways, long story short, Guitar Player magazine put out an article, 50 fastest guitar players of all time. And they put me in the thing of, man, I got to start over. Now I can't do a blues record now. So anyway, so this was a lot of fun because this was the first time I really got to kind of slow down. And that's how I do a lot of, melodic type stuff. But this was cool because I got to write some chord progressions and play through some of that stuff and really kind of explore, the melodic side of things for an instructional, which was pretty cool. Okay, woodshedding is sitting in your room and practicing it, a zillion hours. Practicing things a zillion hours, practicing your arpeggios and things like that, over and over and over again. And that's necessary if you want to get that kind of technique. I think it's just important, no matter what kind of player you are, to have technique. If you just strum, basic chords, G, C's, and D's, and things like that, you still have to have technique to do that. I mean, it requires technique. It might not be technical technique, but it's technique still. So that's really important, as well. Yeah, Chris, what's up, man? Yep, have the VGA. Greatest guitar in the world, man, in my opinion. No offense, Strat guys. No, I love this guitar. I mean, it just feels so comfortable. But so yeah, I mean, woodshedding, just spending time practicing your craft, man. That's what it's all about. So so yeah, the arpeggios and that kind of stuff, and the melodic playing, and really just trying to build melodies. One thing that comes up a lot during teaching is students. Instrumental guitar, students that play instrumental stuff, is about creating melodies. And I always say that it's a good idea, just to practice your scales on one string, linear across the fretboard. You can take a major scale. But if you play like a drone over that, like just like an E, now we got something musical already with the first three notes. So, right? I mean, just with a major scale. So I have them practice their scales like that, whether it be major, minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor, and just play those scales across the fretboard. And explore, and once you get good at one string, you can kind of jump to 2 and then 3, and try different. You can change the bass note there, the drone to an A now. And you'll find melodies pop up all over the place. One thing I see a lot of students do is trying to add a lot of notes to get a melody. 3 or 4 can really do the trick. Something as simple as something like that. Of course, we're playing kind of hard rock. We would probably give it more of this effect. Let's see. Something that's simple. there's a zillion little things you can do. But you always want to keep it simple because a melody is something that somebody, you know, if you can hum the melody, it's a good melody. That's really the idea behind it. I love rockabilly stuff. It's amazing, man. You know, all those guys got to jam with some really cool rockabilly players. You know, yeah, love that stuff, absolutely. See, melodic in a blues situation. Well, you know, that's another one of those things where if you want to do that, you really just gotta, you know, think about what you're playing, you know, and really kind of, I don't know, you know, make it talk a little bit. You know, these are cool. But if you make your guitar talk a little bit, you know, go down to the relative minor a little bit. That's a cool little trick. I mean, we're in A, you know, go down a whole step and a half, and now, you know, it's going to sound major. So, you know, and you get almost like a gospel type sound. You that kind of thing. And take that scale and move it across the fretboard, including a pentatonic. Yeah. But yeah, all that stuff, man. Yeah, practice on your own. Very important, man. You know, taking those ideas and just kind of moving them around. Like I said, the E thing. I got into Indian music a long time ago and started working with a lot of Indian musicians, and I started seeing the incredible you know, amount of things that were happening there, and you can take that same concept. And just move those things around. And that's one of the first times I saw somebody playing linear was Ravi Shankar across the fretboard. Of course, he was doing more. Some of the Indian stuff, but then I started kind of, you know, moving some things around a little bit and started seeing there was a lot there. And another interesting thing that hit me was listening to Oriental music, like Japanese music, because, you know, a lot of that music is really based around pentatonic scale, 5-note scale. And I started seeing that it was really great to actually practice the 5 boxes because you could take which is funny because that's the same scale that you're gonna. You know, but it's just on the way that you play it, you know, and you know, it's like. move around it, and it's a great discovery thing. Yeah, the Indian stuff's really cool, man. I got to record with Vishwa Mohan Bhatt. If you've never heard of him, check him out. He just goes by VM Bhatt, and he is an Indian slide guitarist, and he won a Grammy with Ry Cooder on an album called A Meeting by the River. He played on my second CD, and we've become good friends. But he's incredible. He plays basically a dobro on his lap with a slide, and it sounds like a sitar. Pretty cool. Hybrid picking. Okay, yeah, I'll show you a couple things with that. Micro bends, very cool. Yes, you can do that with the Indian stuff. John McLaughlin does it with the Chromatic stuff. You know, really with that type of thing, what you want to do maybe is just take, you know, you take like dominant pentatonic, you know, something like that, really simple. And you can kind of, you know. So yeah, that stuff's really cool, man. All right, so about the hybrid picking, I'll show you a couple little cool things you can do with that. The Indian player, his name is VM and then BHATT. So Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, VM Bhatt. And I have really high action on, I'm sorry, low action on this guitar, so I can't really replicate it on here very well, but. Strings here. Yeah, I mean he's wild, man. He does some crazy stuff. Okay, so yeah, back to the hybrid picking. Okay, so here's a cool little thing. So you can just take this little triad here. So we've got E, D, and F sharp. Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch there. I mean, if you're comfortable with the stretches, but it just has a really cool arpeggiatic kind of sound. And I just hit a B down here. So what I'll do is I actually pick the first note, the B, and I hammer on. And I use my middle finger here to just grab this note. This is just, you know, starting with a simple thing here, as far as like the hybrid picking part of it. But so what happens is you don't have to. You kind of get this middle finger here. You get. What starts to happen is you don't actually have to pick, you know, as much. Let's see if we can get that. All right, let's see. And what I'll do is sometimes I'll take like one of these kind of things, like a pentatonic scale, 3 notes per string. And I'll phrase it with like. As far as, yeah, exercise go, this one's a really good one. So again, that's the B, D, and the F sharp there. And I'm just grabbing one note on the bottom, the B, and picking down. It kind of sounds like a keyboard or something like that. Here's something else you could do. You could do, this is a really cool one. This is using a whole tone scale. You can do the F here and then play the octave. So you pick the first note with your pick, and then your middle finger is hitting the octave, plucking the octave. Make sure they're even. You don't want to pick louder than you pluck, you know, or vice versa. And then what you do right there is you play the octave note with your first finger, and you hybrid pick this note, the octave of the F. So you go like this, real slow. I'm going to put on clean here. And that's really it. You can just move in, you know, the whole tone scale. And then you're back to F. Sorry, new strings here. Here's something else you can do if you like that. You can take a diminished triad. So what I'll do is I'll go here. I'll show you here. So that's just F, B, and an octave F again to an open B. And I do it down here as B, E, and the octave B again. Open. Kind of outside crazy sounding, but it's good for hybrid picking because you got the thumb, middle, ring, so you're sneaking in another finger there. And I'll move that up in minor thirds, so. See if you get the fingers here. That sounds crazy with distortion, of course. Let's see what else with the hybrid picking. There's a lot of things you can do. I like doing like these kind of. It's like a lot of country players use that stuff. I like that harp sound, so I kind of just try to. That's the melody off of one of my new CD. Little things like that are really cool. Yeah, diminished stuff is cool. You can use that in the blues too, which is kind of cool. So yeah, those are really good. The hybrid picking stuff is a lot of fun. You can take an octave too, yeah. And thumb, middle, ring. Roll it kind of like a classical type thing. I like to go crazy with that kind of stuff. I have fun with I'm going to get a really nutty sound. You can play the octave here in E and just go down in half steps. Just sounds crazy. That kind of stuff. The frozen tundra. So yeah. Anyways, the Power Ballad thing, I'm really proud of that one. We had a lot of fun doing that, and there's a lot of melodic stuff in there, you know. A lot of target notes, you know, that type of thing. That's a lot of fun to just kind of target some notes and, you know. All right, so any questions? I love those pentatonic arpeggios. Those are fun. If you guys like the wild world music stuff, definitely check out my TrueFire course with that stuff. We really got into it on that. R&B, yeah, you know, that kind of thing. Was my kind of studies in that type of stuff was more with Buddy Miles, and you know, I got to tour with him for quite a while, and more like the Hendrix version of the R&B stuff, you know, where you have the Motown type of, that type of stuff. I really like that. What I liked about Hendrix so much, not to get off the topic or the subject, hey Al, man, thanks for joining, is you would hear, you know, guys from the 60s and stuff. You had your Claptons and those guys, you know, and you know, this type of and your Pages and your Claptons. What I liked about Hendrix, you know, a lot of people think about Hendrix as this black guy with long hair who dressed like a gypsy, but what I really liked about Hendrix was the way he played chords. So of those days, you know, when he had the Claptons and the Jimmy Pages, taking a simple chord progression like, that basic progression, Jimmy would take that and go, let me just really stretch it out. That's what I liked about Hendrix the most, you know, and but you hear his phrasing and some of the stuff he did, you know. Love Jimi Hendrix, of course. Who doesn't? Well, I know few people who don't, but anyway. Yeah, Buddy Guy, yeah, he's crazy too. You know, all those guys. I love the open string on it. with TrueFire called 50 Power Pentatonic Licks, and that's got some stuff like that in there too, you know. I remember doing this one for the video. I kind of came up with this. And stuff like that. So. Hey, Allie, what's going on? I'll be seeing you in January. I love cranking up some of the country style stuff with a lot of distortion. I know I'm supposed to do that, but let's see here. We gotta wake up these neighbors a little bit. My grandpa played lap steel guitar, so you know, I used to, when I was first messing around on guitar, he'd play a lot of Hawaiian music and country music, and I would sit by his lap steel and watch him play, and he would do all this really cool kind of. Fascinated by that sound. I've always loved that sound, but you know, you could really have fun with that. He's got the major third. It's basically like playing an E chord, like you're supposed to. Or you go minor. You know, that's kind of a cool thing. You can pre-bend the note. So that's always, you know, kind of fun to play around with as well. Like we were talking about the melodic stuff, just taking 6 intervals and things like that. Get a Celtic kind of sound, you know. I'm not using a pick right now, just, you know, kind of get that. It's right here though. That stuff's just kind of fun. And it's just good for exploring, you know, just exploring around the fretboard a little bit. Move around a little bit and try some things out. Last CD, there was a Celtic tune called the Dublin Jig that had this kind of. arpeggio thing, and Derek Sherinian played on my last CD, and we did this little thing together. It sounded like, I think he got like a harpsichord sound on it. That was really fun to. Electric Gypsy. That's Andy Timmons, I think, right? No, I'm actually I was using my 5150. Now I'm just running through my little Marshall 250, little 212 amp. Style of Brad Gillis, I think it is, Night Ranger. But he's not the guy, it's the other guy who does all the crazy two-handed stuff. What's his name? Jeff Watson, actually. Yeah, okay, so he does this stuff, and he does really wide intervals. What I stopped doing was tapping so much as far as this type of starting to add in more of this finger in there a little bit, like it sounds a little bit more like a keyboard, that type of thing. Kind of fun to do that. And of course some of the, T2, T3 tapping stuff. That kind of stuff. That kind of deal. It's funny because I have all these students that come in, and one thing they're interested in a lot, talking about a lot, is the video game sounding licks, and those are kind of fun. Make them laugh a little bit, because there's all kinds of fifth arpeggios. Especially some of the younger ones that make it sound like Mario's dying. Yeah, so we've been going through some hybrid licks, some ideas, some stuff I can talk about. Power ballad soloing. This is the new instructional, and that's really exciting. And my other two instructionals, World Rock and all that good stuff. Anything I can show anybody? Any questions? That's probably it. Let me see. So, you're talking about this kind of stuff? Let me see. So you're talking about, these kind of... So, spread I'd try. Okay, yeah. So you're just talking about like these type of. Sometimes I'll just take a shape like that, you know. There's the E, the A, and the B here, and I'll just move down every string. No gadgets, just using my hands. I use 9s. Every once in a while I'll go to 10s just to be uncomfortable. Work a little harder with the more technical stuff. You said what gadget or what gauge? Yeah, so like I said, I'll take that. Then you can kind of... Or take like these type of shapes. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there. Yeah, we'll take, you're just hitting target tones over certain chords, you know. You know, just really trying to follow the chord. But yeah, you know, like I was saying, you could take these little 6-note scales. It's one of my favorite little things to do too. And I'll work on just picking, you know, the 5th string. Sweet Child of Mine. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, those kind of things are fun. Twisted over. I use arpeggio, well, yeah, sometimes. But tastefully, you know, I think you have to really be tasteful about that kind of stuff. You definitely don't want to go crazy over that stuff. So what you want to do is, you know, if I'm targeting something, I'm in A minor, you know. I'll throw in something just for the effect, but really not try to go too crazy, you know. Or I might. You know, that type of thing instead of going too crazy. That type of stuff. If you use it in the right place at the right time, you know, it's going to come across nice. But that's really important to play melodically. And you can do some things, you know, little things. Yeah, you just want to be kind of careful with that. Yeah, you know, even taking a major, you know, triad and moving up in minor thirds has a really cool sound too. You know, you just take has a kind of a futuristic. I like that sound. I like the futuristic sounding stuff, you know. Cavallo Manco. No, I don't think I can play that. But I'm actually not familiar with it. Yeah, absolutely. Because you know, when you're practicing, you really have to, you know, on your own, you have to have notes there. When you're working on something, it's just nice because sometimes just looking at it on paper will spark newer ideas as well. You know, you could just see something and it could spark that. But yeah, absolutely. You know, when I do lessons, I always write everything out just for notes. You know, because you want to keep your notes and start a folder and you know, refer to that folder. You know, and when you need to check something out, it's there, and you know, that's very important. I'm a tube guy. I like tubes. Actually, I have a pedal out, a signature pedal. I don't know if you can see this. With it's a little dusty there, but with Revolt amplifiers, and it's a Tony Smotherman tube overdrive. So a lot of people ask me, well, does it, you know, does the tube really work? And the answer is, if you take it out, it doesn't work. It absolutely sounds. You can plug this into the very worst transistor solid state amp, and it will make it sound like a tube amp. It is absolutely insane, and I'm not just saying that. It really works. It's crazy. But yeah, it's through Revolt amplifiers, made in the USA. You know, it's got my signature on the side. It's got a modern channel and a vintage channel. The modern channel is very close to kind of like a Mesa Boogie, high gain Mesa Boogie, and the vintage channel is like a Marshall. And yeah, it's really really a cool pedal, and it's called the Tony Swarm 2 Overdrive, but made by Revolt Amplifiers. Actually, no, I'm not using it right now for one simple reason. The other pedal that I have coming out, which has a fuzz face on it, has this pedal will drain a battery very quick, so you have to use the adapter. So anyways, in my other room over there where I'm testing that out, it's actually plugged in using the adapter. So that's why I'm not using it right now. But it is incredible. So it is made in Chicago. That's right. Yep. It absolutely is. Guys, I think we're getting close to... yeah, okay, so I don't know what it is. Me and my student had a conversation. One of my students had a conversation about this not long ago. For some odd reason, my pinky goes out this far. I don't know if it's from years of stretch doing along like intervallic stuff, or it was always like that. I don't remember when I didn't play guitar. So long story short, I got this stretch on here that because I doing a lot of the Sean Lane kind of stuff. I guess is where that came from. Here, let me plug into this thing real quick because I know we're almost out of time here. But oh, I didn't know it was on here. Let's see. Just try it. If you want it. So doing those long stretchy things like that, I think that something happened, and I don't want to know about it. Yeah, absolutely use a metronome, but you don't want to sound like a robot either. So, make sure you have a balance there so that you sound like a human being playing music and not, like an angry bumblebee. You don't want to go too crazy with that. How many fret? Yeah, you were asking me that. I'll show you one really cool thing that helped me a lot. This is really easy, but it's one of the most difficult things you will ever do. What you do is you play Chromatic Scale. You can do this anywhere. When you put a finger down, each finger down, don't remove a finger. All you're going to do is one finger at a time, while leaving everything down, you're going to play down the Chromatic Scale. So this is really crazy and really hard to do. But everybody thinks it might be easy right off the bat, but as soon as you lift a finger, you've messed up. There we go, I messed up. Here we go. What that will do for you is unbelievable. First off, if you start off with that, it will make you slow down and have a really productive practice session because everybody always gets the guitar and start moving around so quick. This makes you slow down because you're going to find that your fingers are going to lift up immediately. So what you want to do is just play until nothing lifts. Do that 3 or 4 times. You're ready to have a really beneficial practice session because, like I said, if your fingers are lifting up, you're thinking too fast. You need to slow down. You definitely need to slow down. Dwayne Allman. What do you mean, like the slide stuff? I don't have a guitar in a different tuning, do I? Here, I can do that real quick if we have a few minutes. All right, let's see if this old thing will do the trick. There we go. This is open E tuning. This is an old, by the way, this is an old Les Paul. My pops actually hocked his car for this guitar. I was really young. My parents really wanted to support me. I didn't have a nice guitar, so Dad did what he had to do. He put his car in, basically in pawn. So if he didn't pay his guitar off, they were taking his Honda. Let's see. That's open E tuning. Yeah, standard tuning. You know, there's a lot of moving around. You know, this is. Excuse me. I do the standard thing, but this guitar I just put it in open E, so it'd be really hard to do that. But yeah, so just the idea is to a lot of the chords, the bar chords, targeting the bar chord notes in standard tuning because that's where your chords are. Now, obviously, they're all here, but that's where you're gonna get. Most of it's right inside the bar chord. So the major chord. So what I did was kind of started messing around with it. In the actual tuning, there's some cool stuff there. Got a Lydian scale here. Cool for the world music stuff. Especially the dadgad, that's my favorite, but I don't think we have time to get into the dadgad tuning today. But anyhow, so any last questions or anything before we wrap up today? And I want to thank TrueFire for having me on. You know, I really appreciate them having me here, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and asking questions and you know, all that good stuff. I hope that you check out my courses. Like I said, I have 3 out right now. This one, the Ballads, the World Rock, and the Power Pentatonics. And for slide, yeah, I definitely like humbuckers more. You know, I really like that sound. You know, the single coil is just different, but for slide, definitely. What was I going to say? Yeah, anyway, so the courses, or if you'd like a private lesson, you can do that through TrueFire as well. Or if you're in the Jacksonville, Florida area, you know, you can come see me at my studio here in Orange Park. And this is where I teach out of 5 days a week, all day. So we have plenty of music to get into. My favorite slide player, the first guy who popped in my head when you said that was Ry Cooter. You know, I love him. I love him as he's one of the greatest slide players to me. And Sonny Landreth, he's really good. You know, he's a TrueFire artist as well. You know, I like how he does the behind the slide. Playing behind the slide. This guitar really isn't set up for this, but you know, yeah, Sonny Landreth is really great. Derek Trucks is really good, of course. You know, the Indian guys. Pat Nui, the Hawaiian guy, is really good. There's, yeah, I like listening to slide players from around the world. Of course, you know, there's just so many crazy things. Like I said, you know, an Indian guy picks up a slide and it's a whole different thing. Okay, yeah. So last question is explaining the string muting on a slide. It comes from both hands. It comes from this hand here by using the fingers back here, and it comes from this hand as well as muting the low strings. So, you know, if you want to play a single note, I've got my hand. Now, with slide, I always make a joke. I said, you want some trash. I always tell my students, you want a little trash in there. And I mean by that, you know, a little noise is always good. Just has that, that sound. So, yeah, you know, on the left hand and the right hand. So, if I'm playing a high note, I'm covering the low notes here so it don't ring out, unless you want that effect. Or you hear like the Sacred Still, you know, the gospel type slide. That's a different type of, you know. In that type of style, you know, the Sacred Still type stuff, a lot of single note playing, or they were trying to mimic an organ, or, you know, because they couldn't afford organs back then in the church. I totally don't like flood rose systems. Not a fan at all. I'd rather play guitar than fight with it and try to. Yeah, not a fan. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. We went over, but I was happy to do it. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you to TrueFire. Look forward to doing it again, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a happy holidays, and see you soon. Bye.